Hey, everyone. Hi. Hello. Welcome to another episode of Allison.
Hey now.
Greg, what are you doing here?
Hey, what do you mean? Allison,
Where'd you come from, Greg?
I came from the world of childish, and I just want to make sure that your listeners know that you're just as wonderful on the other podcast you do.
What if they don't have kids?
Don't need them. You don't need them. A lot of our listeners actually tell us they don't have kids. We talk about sex.
We talk about all sorts of dirty stuff, but also parenting stuff.
Yeah, so.
Check out Childish. New episodes every Wednesday, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Allison is your new best friend. Allison, with her good times never end. Allison, Rosen, doing the wavy pencil dance again. Allison's your new best friend.
Hey, everyone. Hi. Hello. Welcome to another exciting episode of Allison Rosen is your new best friend. I am delighted to bring in my guest. Now, normally at the top, I would say I'm delighted to bring in my guest, but first I need to chat with my producer, the bad boy of podcasting, Tony Thaxton. However, he is out right now on tour playing drums like the rock star that he is in Motion City Soundtrack. So I don't have him here to chat with. So I was wondering, my guest, who I have not even officially introduced, June Diane Raphael, would you like to be Tony?
I mean, I've been waiting to be asked.
I thought that this might be like the role of a lifetime.
I mean, nothing's ever felt so right.
Now, for you to jump in and be Tony, do you want to go with your gut? Do you want to ask me any questions about what he's like? What feels best to you?
Yeah, maybe just give me like a casting breakdown.
Okay.
Like the high level.
Okay. So
and then I'll make some choices.
Okay, good. Oh, I'm trying to remember like how it goes on a casting breakdown. So he is like, I would say he's like subtly handsome. And I've taken this in a weird direction suddenly. And so like, it kind of like
you don't know it right away, but
yes.
The more you sit with it, the more it reveals itself.
Exactly.
I love that.
He's actually early 40s, but that's shocking. He feels like feels like mid to late 30s. He's got a dry sense of humor and he can be silly.
Okay.
He's from Virginia.
A Southern accent or
no? I'm not sure. You know, the way that the Virginia manifests itself is what something came up lately where he's like, "Oh, I didn't even know that existed." Just like a wholesome innocence.
Gotcha.
Okay,
great.
All right. So I'm super excited to bring in my guest in a moment, but first I just need to catch up with my producer, the bad boy of podcasting, Tony Thaxton, to see what he's been up to. Hey, Tony, how's it going?
Hey, Allison. God, it's a beautiful day and I'm happy to be here, happy to be talking to you.
I love that. Now, you have been doing these short little tours, and I know that like to get in shape after a year of sitting around, you were going on hikes and stuff. Mm-hmm. How's your stamina?
Well, I love the outdoors. I just love being with nature and, the good people of the world. And it's hard. It's hard when you're traveling. Your digestive system, I'm sure gets really wrecked.
Yeah.
And just you're not eating that well. So it has been harder, but I'm trying to do something every day. And, I keep my little iWatch on so I know how many steps I'm taking. So I'm always watching my steps and I'm always watching my points.
Remind me which Weight Watchers color plan you're on, Tony, when you're counting your points.
Well, before I started on the road, I was on like a 3,000, a day calorie count. But now I've gone down to about 1,100, which is hard.
Wow.
And it's really hard when you blow all your points by like 11 a.m.
Yeah.
Because
my God,
then it's just like you're in a day. The rest of the day, you have no points to spare.
And you got to play drums.
And it's hard. And you don't have any points to really, perform.
Tony, could I recommend a handful of almonds in your pocket?
You'd be surprised how many points those are.
I probably would be. So, Tony, as you know, I have been cataloging for the listeners, and it's really amazing that they continue to listen, given that I force people to hear this. My various battles with various insects around the house. I had a little millipede problem in the bathroom. I solved years ago. I solved the termite problem myself, which is something that I really pat myself on the back on all the time. I could have been an exterminator, except that sounds like miserable work. But anyway, get this, Tony. There is a smell in our house now. At first, I worried it was like a plumbing problem, but then pretty quickly we're like, no, something died. We think there's something like a dead something or other in the attic or under the house. And we had someone come out and they searched for it and they are not finding anything. But the smell, it's not overpowering. It kind of comes and goes. What should I do, Tony?
It comes and goes. That's haunting.
Isn't it?
Well, actually, as I said that, I'm like, is there any way it's a ghost?
Oh my God.
With gas. Like, I don't know. Maybe we need to look at a different specialist because maybe it's not alive at all. Maybe it's a ghost.
I didn't even think of that. So who would I bring in? Like a medium that specializes in paranormal IBS?
I think so. Because I have heard actually that ghosts can have a stench.
Interesting. And is it that sort of like salty, acrid death stench that I seem to be
something
smelling?
Something terrible has happened.
Something.
I think that's the one thing I can say. Something awful has happened in your home.
I need an exorcist.
You might. That's very upsetting. And you know what? I'm remembering I had a similar experience of a stench coming and going, and I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh.
Uh-oh.
So
I felt pathos in your Tony.
Because I remembered. So Allison, there were cats that had a litter in,
Oh, this is very sad.
It's very sad. In a rental house I was in once, and they got stuck in like the pipes.
Oh no.
I know. This is very sad. And what I was actually smelling was cat urine. And it would kind of similarly come and go, which is why for days it would be gone and I would think it's over. And then it would come back.
And what did it smell like? For people who are having breakfast, what did it smell like?
It smelled like a type of urine, but one that I had never smelled before.
Ooh, novel urine.
A new type of urine.
Similarly, this whole adventure started, this whole adventure being my journey with exterminators and organic matter in our house and whatnot. We had a family of raccoons under the house, and we had to evict them. It's a raccoon eviction. And what they do is they spray male raccoon pheromones under the house.
Because the male will just know that someone else has come in and then take his crew. It's
actually the mama raccoon, I think.
Oh.
Because she'll smell that and she'll think it's dangerous. It's very dark. It's dangerous or something. I don't know. But anyway, it worked. But that, you have not lived. You might think you have. Maybe you rode horses. Maybe you went to a Western-themed summer camp like I do. So you've smelled things in this family. But that is a whole new level once you've smelled male raccoon pheromone pellets. What was I?
Hormones are a hell of a thing.
I know what I was going to say. And then we have to bring in the guest. I can't believe I've kept her waiting this whole time.
Yeah.
So we have a dog, and when she needs to go outside, she scratches at taps the door. And my son said that he thought he heard her scratching. But she's not in this room. So that makes me think, what if it is like a cat, there is an animal somewhere situation, or this ghost, because he heard something. I haven't heard it, but he heard it. I have to move.
I don't see another, I don't see another solution. You've got to leave your home.
They
live there now, whoever they are.
That's right, with their smell.
And they own it,
Yeah.
So you got to go.
All right, let's bring in our guest. This is someone that I have been wanting to talk to for so long. I'm so excited she's here. She is an actor, a podcast host, a writer. You know her from How Did This Get Made? You know her from her new podcast, The Deep Dive. You know her from Grace and Frankie and like a million other things. Please put your hands together and welcome to the show, June Diane Raphael. Hello. Hi.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for that, to you and Tony, for that wonderful introduction.
Yeah, I hope that wasn't too gross for you.
No, I loved it. Okay. I loved it. I'm so upset by insects of all kinds. And I also we had a raccoon issue because our dog food was in a giant container, but it had one of those tops where, I know this is not a visual medium and I'm doing the gesture, but it's one of those tops where you have to like really turn the top to get it off. And
it's supposed to be raccoon proof, really.
Well, I'll tell you what, Allison, when one night my husband heard the raccoons outside, because this container is directly outside the side of our kitchen, and these motherfuckers were on top of it with their paws, turning it.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And then he starts flashing a flashlight at them, banging on the door. They're not moving. They get the top off.
Oh, wow.
And then he runs to get like one of our son's lightsabers to go out with it.
I love that his weapon of choice is light.
Yeah, it was. Yes. And then so he runs out. He runs out with his lightsaber, and the raccoons have run down the little steps. But one of them turns to him and hisses at him.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And I've never seen, like, I always thought raccoons are pretty mild-mannered. Mm-hmm. You know, like that they're not like aggressive creatures.
Right, docile, yeah.
Docile, yeah. But they're not when their babies are trapped in the dog container.
Oh, my God. Why did they put their babies in there?
I think they had fallen in to eat.
Oh.
And so Paul realized that and then just like kicked the container over and ran inside.
So tough.
Yeah, but it's terrifying. And I love all animals. I love all creatures. But, honestly, from a distance, from a healthy distance.
I like to enjoy the outdoors from indoors, just looking at it through a window.
You're a real indoor person.
And it's become.
I love the great indoors.
The older I've gotten, the worse it has become, to the point, and everyone knows about this because I can't shut up about it. I have two boys, and my younger one is just starting. They're both in preschool. My younger one is just starting preschool. And the preschool we go to does this 2-week separation thing where you attend with them for 2 weeks until they're ready for you to leave and you're ready and all that. But it's been 3 hours every day in the sun. And it's come to an end, but it's killing me.
That's too much.
I can't do it. I'm like
allergies.
Allergies, skin concerns.
Yeah, I can't be out. This is our moneymaker. I mean, like, we can't be out in the sun like that. That's just not a wise investment of our time. Yeah, I mean, me too. I'm really upset, actually, because for a long time, I suffered with allergies in New York forever. And then I moved to LA, and I truly was like, the experience I had my first month in LA, I almost cried because I could not believe what it was like to live without allergies.
Oh, wow.
I was like, I can breathe every day. I'm not running around with like multiple packs of tissues. My eyes aren't tearing the moment I walk outside. Mm-hmm. I just could not believe this existence was possible. And then just last year, they came back.
That was because you moved out here a while ago, though. Yeah.
It was a great run. Yes, in 2005. And someone told me, like, they might come back. And I was like, oh, no, that's not for me. Like, I don't live that life anymore. But they have.
I'm sorry.
It's upsetting. So I wake up, take a Claritin, and start my day.
I was going to ask what your Allergy Med of Choice is. I'm a Zyrtec gal.
You know what? I think I actually took a Zyrtec this morning. I am allergy medicine, agnostic. Like, I'll
really?
take any one of them. Yeah. Whatever's lying around, but I have to take something right away.
Even like a chlortrimeton or a Benadryl that might make you drowsy?
Oh, no, all non-drowsy.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really, you call your podcast The Deep Dive, but this is The Deep Dive on Allergy Med. I find Claritin doesn't really work for me. I don't know why. In the same way, and I've never talked about this on the show, Imodium. Not that I ever use the Turlet, but if I were to, Imodium, like I'm immune to it. I don't know why.
Interesting.
Really weird. Maybe I don't know.
I've developed a totally unhealthy immunity to like Midol and anything that's for period cramps. So I will, like, at the first sign, and I mean first hint of a cramp, I'm taking like 4 Advil.
Yes.
You know, it's that real. It's that real for me.
There is, I'm going to give you a hot tip. You might already know it. There is a medication called Duexis, which is
never heard of it.
800 milligrams of ibuprofen plus an antacid, and it's time release. It's prescription, but it's for hardcore cramps, and it's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to hear about this. Duexis.
D-U-E.
And you get that from a OBGYN?
Yes, that's who prescribes mine. Yeah.
Great.
So I read an article in The Atlantic, which was about your friendship with Jessica St. Clair, your deep dive co-host.
Yes.
Really, really great article. But Jessica was saying that she kind of goes to each of her friends for something special and different. And to you, she goes to you to find her inner shit kicker. And like, you know how to advocate for things and all of that. And I was very taken with that because I am someone who's trying to learn how to be more assertive, but it doesn't come naturally to me. Mm-hmm. Does it come naturally to you, or is that something you've had to learn?
I think it probably comes more naturally to me than most, but it is also something that I've worked on and have learned. So I have several techniques I use, especially when it comes to like difficult conversations or asking for things that I feel like I need, which is to, ask for something or express my needs and then get quiet.
Interesting. What does that do?
Well, I think specifically for a lot of women, whether we're negotiating our salaries or advocating for more time on set or whatever it is, I think there's an instinct to make it okay for the other person or to qualify and put a lot of sort of qualifiers around the ask.
Totally. To the point where if it's me, I undermine it by being like, if it's okay with you, I mean, you know what? Never mind.
Right. And so something, and I wrote a book with a woman we wrote a book about women running for office and the how-to guide. And then my co-author really taught me this because she works with a lot of women on negotiating their salaries. And she said, and she's also worked with a lot of like political candidates on raising money. And one thing she really recommended is like, let's say I was about to ask you for money or campaign check or whatever it is, or, a job, whatever it is, that I would ask and then pick up my pen and, look at it but not say anything, like be able to really sit in the ask and not bail on it, not bail on the importance of it and be ready to also accept a no. Like that's the other thing is like, just you ask for things and people say no, and then you have to like live with that. But you also, I just think that we women have a much harder time doing it because of so many reasons, but that I've honed my, and I don't know, I think there's a lot of reasons why I feel more comfortable in this. I'm 41 years old, like just in uncomfortable moments and not feeling like I have to make everything okay for everybody. I think some of that comes with age, but it's something I've definitely worked on, but I'm also, I've got a lot of Scorpio on my side. I think there are other reasons, astrological reasons, and that I'm probably have been predisposed to being able to do that. And things I think have happened in my life where I'm like, oh, I think I have a better sense of what the real scary stuff is in life, and it's not asking for more money. It's just not, So I'm able to kind of contextualize my fears, I think, in a better way.
For me, I do start to worry about how, and this is, I would like to be free of this.
Sure.
And I would like you to teach me. I'm just kidding.
Set you free.
My thing is, I think about what my ask is, and then I think, but how is that going to be taken by that person? What if they have negative feelings? What if they feel pressured? What if they this? What if they that? What if that just somehow, what if that makes, I mean, this is like crazy, but what if that makes them feel like they want retribution, or like they get mad at me, and that's where I start circling and cycling. Yeah. Do you not have that?
I mean, listen, what's interesting about this conversation is I was actually just asked for something recently that I was like, oh, that person should not have done that. And in fact, they completely overstepped. And I am upset because it was an inappropriate ask, and it hurt me, and it like actually will change the course of our relationship. So I do think that can happen and that's possible. But I also feel like I have to trust myself and my own intuitions in terms of just the world, and I do feel like I got a pretty decent sense of social interactions and like what is reasonable,
right?
I guess that's the thing. If I was walking around the world like burning bridges left and right, and would look at my past and see like, oh, I've destroyed so many things I care about, then I might say like, yeah, let's rethink this. Like maybe what you're doing is not working. But
right.
I have a feeling, Allison, for you, and I think it's true for me. I have wonderful relationships in the world, and I think people enjoy working with me. And so I can trust that, I think that if I ask for something that it's within reason, and that, so, and then so I don't know. I also think that if you make an ask and someone's like, ooh, it's not comfortable, or you shouldn't have asked for that because of A, B, and C, then if that were to happen, then I think I would say like, okay, and be able to approach that next moment. The other thing too is like, I don't know. I just feel like when those voices come up, because I'm not going to say I don't have them. I'm like, oh, does that director hate me now? Do they think I'm bad? Am I a bitch? Like maybe I shouldn't have done that. I have that all the time. But what I try to do is kind of think like, oh, is that really what I'm thinking? Or is that what I have been? I have internalized because misogyny is so pervasive that I cannot see it, that none of us can, because we have been conditioned to, to be caretakers and to not advocate really strongly for ourselves.
Yes.
So
it is interesting watching my husband navigate all these kinds of things. And, I appreciate running stuff by him because it's so much less cloudy for him. It's just very it's very cut and dry and straightforward.
Lovely. Yeah.
And like this
refreshing.
This is that person's responsibility. This is yours, and sometimes he's confused why I feel paralyzed.
Yeah. Yeah,
I know.
Yes.
For it to be that simple. I wanted to ask you on the most recent deep dive. You mentioned that you were a full-grown woman in 4th grade, and that your experience was always wanting to be smaller. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, I'm 5'9", and I was my full height, I believe, by 6th grade. So I don't know how old I was at 11, whatever that is. I was my full height by 11. And so that was hard. I was towering over the teachers. I was towering over the boys. I loved boys. I wanted to be pretty and cute, and I wanted them to like me, and I felt giant, I felt so big. And it was very hard to be big. And I felt uncomfortable in my body. And so, yeah, and I had people, when I played basketball and I played sports, I had a lot of coaches who were excited to see how big I was, and like they would like parade me around the field to intimidate the other team. Like a zoo animal, but I was like, I don't want to be this. I want to hide away. I want to be dainty. And I had a friend who was my best friend who was like small and blonde and like adorable little tiny features. And I felt like a giant. And there are still times I find where that feeling will come back up, where I feel like I'm too much, like I'm just too much for someone. And I find myself really gravitating toward women in my life who are too much, I think St. Clair is such a wonderful example of like someone who's she's such a wonderful person, and she's like living out loud and is a brilliant performer, but also just like a wonderfully loud and crazy personality. And I just gravitate toward women. And I think my mom was the same, but who feel big now. So, but it was definitely taking me a really long time. Actually, it wasn't until I went to acting school where I had this teacher at NYU say to me, the Stella Adler Studio of Acting, that she told me I was like hunching over. And she pulled my shoulders back. It was in some like movement class or bodywork class. And she pulled my shoulders back and she said, do not try to make yourself smaller and do not be embarrassed about your breasts.
Oh, wow.
And she had me like walk around the room in front of everyone. And it was like horrifying. I wanted to throw up, but I knew that I was physically like trying to be smaller. And I do think that it is, the bigger picture, which I now realize is like, it was hard for me to take up space. I didn't want to. And I've had to like now I love being tall. I mean, at my wedding, I wore like 6-inch heels. I was towering over my husband. He was like, really? And I was like, I'm sorry, I have to. Like, I love wearing heels. So, in all of our pictures, I'm literally, it looks like he's my child, But I absolutely love it. But it was a very hard thing. And I also I relate to tall women because I know when, I don't know, maybe this is my own judgment, but I feel like when women aren't tall, they're always like, oh my God, you're so tall. It must be so wonderful to be tall. And they seem like they want to be tall. And I'm like, do you really want to be tall? Because I was this tall at 11. And it's also what comes with that is also grown men treating you like you're a woman when you're a child, and walking down the street and like having to sort of understand why grown men are whistling at you. Like there's a lot that comes with that. And, but now I really do love it. I love having height. How tall are you, Allison?
I'm 5'6".
Okay. Well, that's tall.
Yeah. I feel like it's kind of medium. I feel medium.
You feel medium. Do you wear heels?
I find them uncomfortable, but I wear boots.
Sure. Well,
I wear boots.
Okay,
that have heels.
You just showed me a nice size boot.
Yeah. So sometimes I do. But I was an overweight kid, so I always wanted to hide, and I always wanted to be smaller. So I totally get that. And I also always wanted to be like the little blonde, perky, cute kid. Well, I think maybe not perky, but I mean, I always I always wanted to be something other than I was. So I totally get that. But
Yes.
you mentioned wanting to be like cute and little or cute and pretty, and you're beautiful. But at what point did you start realizing you were, or feeling like you were attractive?
Oh, gosh. I mean, listen, I don't want to paint a picture that's not accurate. Like, I did have a healthy sense. I did have a healthy self-esteem. And in fact, I was also weight-wise bigger, but I didn't, it's actually like kind of breaks my heart because I didn't think anything was wrong with that. Like, I knew girls were smaller than me weight-wise, and I knew some girls were bigger. I didn't attach much meaning to that.
And what part of that breaks your heart?
Because that's so beautiful.
Yeah, the innocence.
Yeah, and that's so special. And it wasn't until I was like, honestly, I think I started reading my sister's magazines, like YM or whatever, Young Miss, and I was like, oh, and I started to think I was too fat. But I didn't think that for a long time, even though I would say European beauty standards wise, I was bigger. But I didn't experience myself that way. I didn't experience the feeling of that until probably like 12 or 13. And then I think I did feel pretty, even though I wasn't necessarily seen that way as like categorically. But I am bummed about not being able to talk to my parents about this because I actually don't know why I was able to sort of escape young adolescence with a decent self-esteem intact. I just did you know what I'm realizing? I think a lot of it has to do with the group of friends that I had in middle school and in high school. These are 5 girls who are actually all coming out to LA next week, and we're going to spend a whole weekend together. I haven't seen most of them in 2 years because of the pandemic, but I had a group of girlfriends who were, I mean, it's no surprise now that like three of them are lesbians. Didn't know that then, but there was, now I look back on that, I'm like, wow, it was really maybe life-saving because although some of us were deeply obsessed with boys, we weren't obsessed with appearances. We just, I don't know how we weren't obsessed with all of it. We were obsessed with each other and having fun together and being insane and hilarious. And I don't know. I just had a very good group of girlfriends where I always had a healthy sense of confidence intact.
That's great.
God, it's like but it's a little bit of a mystery. In terms of really feeling like attractive, I don't know that I've ever felt unattractive, to be quite honest.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
To be quite honest. I think my experience of my body, although I absolutely have times, I mean, I wish I wasn't so disciplined. I wish it wasn't like a site of like discipline, all the time. It is, believe you me. And a lot of my day is spent like, did I do good with food today? Did I do bad with food today? Like all that stuff is very real for me. At the same time, you know what? I'll say it. I think I also really enjoy being in this body and experience a lot of pleasure around it. As much as also a site of discipline and like, I can be really harsh with it. I also, at the same time, think I really enjoy it.
Good.
Yeah, I guess that's good. That's good, right?
I think it's good. I think it's good.
It's a good thing. That's a good thing.
you are a cherished friend of many people who have come on this podcast. Casey Wilson, Kulop, Elizabeth Lame, your husband, Paul Scheer. And it seems like female friendships are very important to you. Seems like such a dumb question, but I'm going to ask it anyway because I am struggling with this. How do you make time, given that you have a busy career, you have kids, etc.? How do you make time for friendships?
Gosh, I mean, I wish I had more time for them, and I think that it's reasonable. I mean, you have young kids to also know like what season of life you're in, and like I do feel like I'm in a season where if I have free time, like it's probably going to be with my children. But I do listen. I grew up in a household where like I saw my mom with her girlfriends were so important to her. And so that was just always like that was a thing. Like, oh, you have to have these relations, you invest in them, you know. I would watch my mom getting ready to go out to dinner with her girlfriends. And it was like, I loved seeing that. And there's something I think also for women, for mothers, where we can feel really guilty. But I remember of leaving and not spending dinner and bath time or whatever it is and going out. But I actually remember the experience, even when my kids like complain that I'm leaving. I remember feeling like seeing my mom take care of herself actually made me feel safer. Seeing her,
that's cool.
Made me feel like, oh, my mom's happy. I was so in tune with her emotionally that I felt like if she's like happy and, surrounded by community and getting dressed for her girlfriends and putting on makeup for them, then things are really good. So I hearken back to that, which is like, I'm actually not taking away time from them. I'm presenting and modeling like a really healthy, regulated person, by spending time with my girlfriends. So I just try to make the time. It's as simple as that. And there are some friendships where, unfortunately, like I have a lot of wonderful girlfriends, and I feel like I also have to be pretty rigorous about friends who are acquaintances and having dinners and lunches, getting together for lunch. Like I can't do that right now. Like I have a whole set of girlfriends who are very important to me, and those are the dinners and whatever that I'm going to. So I also think sometimes it takes saying no to other things to say like absolutely yes to the things you really want to do.
You seem so sane and centered and like you've got your shit together so much.
Honestly, I think you found me on a good day. Like, I feel like if this was a different day, because I'm a different person according to every day of my menstrual cycle.
Oh,
and
yes.
For whatever reason, I feel like really like I'm presenting a very well-rounded person. But believe you me, this fluctuates.
Where are you in your cycle currently?
Such a good question. So I am currently like 2 weeks away from getting my period.
Okay.
So for me, this is my good week.
I saw my gynecologist yesterday. I feel, and I like him a lot. He delivered my second baby. I had a really good experience, but I feel like he is trying to, and I can't believe I'm saying this about him because he doesn't seem like the kind of guy who would try to pressure someone, but he's so enthusiastic about me getting the Mirena IUD, which I don't think I want. I did IVF. I think I'm pretty sure there's no way I could ever get pregnant. Naturally, it's not for that. It's because I have such heavy periods and such bad cramps. And he was like, this might solve all your problems, blah, blah, blah. And my feeling is just, I don't think I want that. And I don't think I'm trying to like, I'm trying to remember that I don't think I want it, but I'm open to learning about it. But I don't know.
Yeah, I've never had one of those.
No, me neither.
And I do have like a few stories from girlfriends who have had not great experiences with them, but I'm sure there's so many people who have.
I feel like you could look up anything, like any sort of medicine, any sort of anything, and you see negative stories. But when he said it, I was thinking I've heard lots of negative stories about it as well.
Yep. I mean, listen, I was like, I was told a harrowing tale from my OBGYN because my periods were I also have fibroids.
Okay.
So I really probably should get them out because I think they're the real source of like my painful cramps.
Mm-hmm.
But I was also told, unfortunately, that as we head into like perimenopause, menopause, that we can expect it to all get a lot worse.
Yes. I have found
Which is disconcerting.
I think I am.
That too. I have found that too.
Yeah. There was a couple months where it was like 40 to 50 days or a couple cycles between cycles. And I was like, I actually thought, oh my God, the thing could I possibly be pregnant? And then I took a test because I figured if I go to the doctor, that's the first thing they're going to do. And I was surprisingly disappointed. Like I thought I was done with 2 kids, and I was disappointed actually when I wasn't. So that was interesting. But so anyway, they got really spaced out, and then now they're like every 3 weeks, and they're crazy heavy.
God.
So yeah, that's fun.
It's horrible. I mean, it's just horrible. I will say the one thing, so I started using a menstrual cup about a year ago. Have found, this is just anecdotal evidence, that my cramps have lessened and my flow has lessened a bit after using it. And I love it.
So I saw a clip of you talking about it. It's the salt cup, right?
Yes.
That's the one
Yes.
I bought, and I lasted 2 to 3 minutes with it. I felt like I was 13, like feeling like I guess I'm going to try a tampon, even though it's like I put it in.
Takes a little, yeah.
And then I had this freak out of like, oh my God, I'm sure I can feel it. Oh my God. I mean, by the way, I've had 2 children vaginally.
Come out. Yeah.
Yeah. Stuff's happened down there. And this little cup, which it looked like there's no way I'm not going to feel that. And then I talked myself into feeling it. And then I got claustrophobic. I'm like, claustrophobic is not quite, it was probably claustrophobic. Probably not. I'm like, I got to get it out. And then that was, I want to go back because so many women swear by them. I do
swear by them, but I also do think that everybody's like cervix, it's all, I also think it's very much so based on what you have going on. And
you've got a tilted uterus.
Long. Yeah, there's things that are, I don't know. For me, I mean, I guess I would ask this though. When you put a tampon in, do you feel it when it's in?
No.
You don't feel it at all. So the feeling goes away. It disappears. Yeah. So I think there's a world in which you could try again and just get the right
sure
insertion.
It's psychological, yeah.
And then because I
looks
for
big.
some reason, I was so nervous about it, and I went on their Instagram, and they do have like a pretty amazing. Again, I'm not sponsored them by them. They've sent me a few, but I should be paid. I'm just not. But they have a wonderful like tutorials on their Instagram stories, and so I was like watching all of them, and then I folded it really. I think people don't know how much that thing needs to be folded to go in.
And there's the tulip fold, the 7 fold. There's so many different folds.
There's the C folds. There's so many folds.
It's like origami.
You really have to find the one that works for you. But I put it in, and it like I didn't feel it at all.
Really?
So it was so crazy. I'm like, no, this can't be real. I don't feel anything. Now, I have also had the experience. So that was the first time I put it in. I was like, this is the best thing that's ever happened. I cannot believe I'm only finding this now. But I've had times where it's been like, where it's not inserted properly. So I do also know what that feels like. And you really should take it out and put it back in until you can't feel it, because once it's in and you can't feel it and you can go 8 hours.
That's amazing.
And for me, Allison, I will report, I feel like it's lessened my cramps and flow.
That is also amazing.
And I don't know what that is. That's one person's story. That's my story, but it's true for me.
It's your journey.
That's my journey with my menstrual cup, and I'm telling it.
One more thing. And I know that everyone was like, I want less about this, but I need more. The thing of putting it in, taking it out, putting it in, taking it out till you can get it right. I mean, I'm just thinking like that sounds like a very messy proposition.
So here's what I'm going to say about like the mess, because there's some doing there, right? Like what you don't have to worry about is the mess of the actual cup. Like, let's say the cup gets blood on it. Who cares? It's going back in anyway to catch that blood. Is it a little bit messier on the toilet? Whatever. Yeah. While you're figuring that out, it will not be forever. But then you wash your hands and then you're done. That's the thing that I'm trying to get across is like, it is so much more dignified.
I need something dignified.
It is so much more dignified than like going back and forth with tampons.
Yeah.
And wrapping them up and throwing them out and that insert, all of that to me, I'm like, oh, I can't go back there.
And when I don't know how it is for you, but for me, when I pull it out, it goes thwack against the front of the toilet. And that's messy.
Oh, okay. Are you talking about a tampon?
Yeah.
Yes, very much so.
It's like a pendulum.
Right. That's absolutely like, that's no picnic.
Sometimes if here we go. I don't like to pee with a tampon in, even though you can. I just don't like to. So if I need to pee, I'll sit down and pull the tampon out. But then in the course of pulling it out, that makes my pee like, so then that makes a mess. What am I talking about? Worrying about the mess of the cup. I'm sorry. I feel that I've told you way too much.
No, you barely said anything. I'm so here for these details because I really do believe I'm so happy to be evangelizing menstrual cups. It's not the road I thought I'd be taking at this juncture of my life, but I really do feel like we should be giving them to girls immediately when they get their periods. Like they should just be the standard. And I really do think that we've just become so used to what the experience of a tampon is that it seems more sanitized. Right. It seems better. And the truth of it is like the menstrual cup is easier in the end, more sustainable for the planet. There's so many reasons why it's a better experience, but I think there's a learning curve like there was for tampons. We just don't remember it anymore.
When I found out I was having boys, one of the things that I thought was, oh, I guess I'm not going to help them with their first periods. And I actually felt a little bit sad about that. Which is something that I could discuss in therapy. Speaking of, this podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Is there something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals? Look, you guys know I am big fan of therapy. It has helped me so much. I have 2 friends right now who are doing BetterHelp. And so right now, starting up with a traditional therapist can be difficult to get in with a traditional therapist because they have these crazy long wait lists. Whereas with BetterHelp, you can BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist, and you can start communicating in under 48 hours. It can be more affordable than traditional therapy. Financial aid is available. And if you don't feel like the first therapist you're put with is a match, you can change as many times as you want. There's no extra charge. You don't have to feel like you're committing to something. I have 2 friends right now who are doing BetterHelp, and they are getting so much out of it. The first one, or the one friend, the first therapist they were matched with, they're still with that person. It has been great. The other one liked the first therapist, felt like maybe it wasn't the right match, and then, asked to be put with a new therapist. Loves the second one. They're both getting so much out of it. Visit betterhelp.com/bestfriend. That's better, HELP, and join the over 2 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. In fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp that they are recruiting additional therapists in all 50 states. There's a special offer for Allison Rosen is Your New Best Friend listeners. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/bestfriend. Again, that's betterhelp.com/bestfriend. I also want to talk to you guys about the Ring Alarm. I love the Ring Alarm. Protect your home with Ring Alarm. For a special offer, go to ring.com/best friend. It's the perfect way to start your Ring experience. So when we moved into this house, Daniel wanted to get an alarm system, and I did some research, and I had qualms about the various ones that I was hearing about, or the various ones that I had heard, the names that I had heard. There was, pros and cons of each, but nothing really sounded right to me. And then I was talking, and I've mentioned it before, but I was talking to the guy who straightens my hair, who is he is the ultimate consumer. He researches everything. He gets good deals. He knows what are the good products. And I asked him what he uses, and he said he had just got the Ring Alarm. And I was familiar with Ring because we had a Ring doorbell. We rely on our Ring doorbell. I cannot imagine life without that. And so I was familiar with the company, but I didn't know that they had an alarm system. And I asked him about it, and I was like, well, how does that work? Do they come out and set it up? That was the part I didn't really want with the other companies. And he's like, no, not at all. You buy it, and then you set it up yourself. You install it yourself. And that appealed to me so much. So I told Daniel about it. We went out and got one, and we love it. It's super easy to install. You don't have to be handy. Daniel is handy, but but I think I could have set it up, and I'm not. I think I could have set it up myself. It's a quick installation, and it just brings you peace of mind. We went on vacation a couple years ago and felt so confident knowing that we could see what was going on in our house from far away. So it just brings you really good peace of mind. Protect your home anytime from anywhere with Ring Alarm. Go to ring.com/bestfriend for a special offer on a Ring Alarm security kit today. You can build the system that's right for your home and have it up and running in minutes. That's ring.com/bestfriend. That's ring.com/bestfriend. Okay. So, we don't have, I know you have a heart out. We don't have that much time. I am trying to figure out what we should
talk about.
Do. I know. So we have some questions from listeners that I take on. I'm on Patreon, patreon.com/AllisonRosen.
Patreon.
Bonus episodes of The Friend Zone, behind the scenes content, Zoom parties, love where you can text me and I will text you back. Thursday show videos, the backstory, which is where I go into a lot of details about the Monday show episodes. So I take questions there. We also have Just Me or Everyone, and hey, go fuck yourself. There's no way we're going to get through all of it. What do you want to do?
Maybe let's do, is it just me?
Okay, let's do Just Me or Everyone.
Sometimes I ponder on something I have thought or done. Is it just me or everyone?
Great. So, oh my God, did I really forget what I was going to talk about after I said that? Oh my God. OMG. Well, I know. Okay, so I have one, and maybe I'll think of the other one. And I have talked about it on Deep Dive, but it's really, I'm fascinated by where people land on this.
Okay.
And I know actually it's not just me, but I also think it's a minority of people who cannot sum up the emotional strength, fortitude to unpack their suitcases when they arrive back from a trip.
Yes. So, wait, which one are you? Are you an immediate unpacker, or are you
No,
leave
I'm
it?
not, my friend.
You're a let it ride.
Well, I just now while I was getting ready, I was like, oh, I have to blow dry my hair, and I was searching around the bathroom. I'm like, where's I had that Revlon big old guy that sort of So
wait, the one that Casey St. Onge has told everyone, it's like a brush and a blower
Correct.
thing. Yes.
Yes, it's life-changing.
Yeah.
It's taken my hair, my blowout time from 15 minutes to 7.
Oh my God, suck it, Dyson.
Okay. I mean, I was gifted by my mother-in-law the Dyson, so I do have that, but I find this to be better, just quicker. Now, is it permanently damaging my hair? And am I losing my hair because of it? Maybe. So I don't know, but it's so quick. So I was like, oh, fuck, where is that? Where is that? And I spent a solid 5 minutes searching for it. And then I was like, God damn it. It's right now, September 17th.
Mm-hmm.
I came back from a Labor Day weekend away. And I never unpacked it from that bag. And I never unpacked the bag.
June.
It's the 17th. I see it. And here's the thing.
So wait, have you
Away
air
suitcase.
dried every time since then?
You know what, Allison? I don't blow dry my hair.
I think that's okay. I admire it.
Also, so I will say one thing about this. I am in the middle of a shooting schedule right now. So my hair is done almost every day. And so someone is blow drying it. And then when I'm not working, I'll usually try to make that blowout last.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'll go to great lengths to get as much mileage as I can from that professional blowout.
Is this like a dry shampoo situation?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
It's a dry shampoo. It's like a silk wrap. It's a silk pillowcase. It's it's if I'm working out, like a special sweatband.
Yeah.
We're really going to make that last. But so anyway, it was in the suitcase and I'm like, this is the thing about the Away suitcase. I have a mini that's pink and it's so cute that it's also now not an eyesore in the closet.
I know it's
You know
almost.
what I mean?
Yeah, it's almost like an objet.
Exactly. It's good looking.
Yeah.
I don't hate when my eyes fall upon it.
Right.
Because I'm like, that's a nice color pink. It's like the palest of pinks.
I know the one you mean. And by the way,
do?
Away is a sponsor on my podcast.
Oh, perfect. I love the Away suitcases, but it's good and bad, right? Because they do their job to get you to and fro, but I don't really feel compelled to unpack it.
No.
So, and as time goes by, every day that passes, I'm like, is it today that I unpack that? And it never seems to be today.
Yes.
So I just wonder, I'm fascinated by how people travel. I'm fascinated by good packers and
too.
how it's done. You know what I mean? I'm just like, wow. And is it me or does anyone else really fucking struggle with getting their toiletries, getting all this stuff? And I've had people say to me, oh, just have a toiletry bag and then that's the bag. And then just you put that back and forth. And I'm like, in theory, yes. But the reality of that, it's there's different products for different times.
Was it you that posted a photo of all of your skincare stuff when you were on a trip?
You saw how much I had.
Yeah. I mean,
It's a shocking amount.
could a human afford to duplicate that? I don't think so.
Oh, I can't buy two of everything.
No. Yes. I'm also fascinated by this. I'm fascinated by people who roll their clothes. Do you do that?
Oh, my
It's supposed to take up less
God.
space. I bought packing blocks. I don't travel very much anymore. There was a period of time when I was on the Adam Carolla show where we were traveling a lot, and I had gotten it down to if it was just for one night, a carry-on, I would wear onto the plane what I was going to wear to the show did I do that? That sounds insane. What I was going to wear to the show that night. And so it was just my makeup and my hair stuff in the suitcase and something to wear on the plane home the next day. This is too much boring detail. What I'm trying to say is the toiletries and the makeup no, sorry. I packed my clothes. I put on full makeup in the morning. That's what I did. So I didn't have to travel with all my makeup.
Wow. Did you travel? Well, see, I can't do that. I can't.
And I'm not recommending that. I'm just trying to remember how I had done it. Yeah. I also find that transferring hair products into little containers is very tedious and
That's
all of
not
that. It's
for
a whole
me.
thing.
That's not a life I'm interested in living.
Yeah. I don't unpack immediately if I arrive late at night or something. Then I leave my suitcase at the foot of the bed. I do try to unpack sort of quickly, but but I'm a messy, cluttery person. So that's out of character for me. When we go going anywhere with the kids involves a plethora of tote bags and whatnot. And I try to unpack those, but I do tend to leave a tote bag that has a stuffed animal, 3 diapers, and a random iPhone that we use for music. That'll sit on the kitchen table for 3 weeks.
Right. Oh, sure. Yeah. Our kitchen island and sort of the catch-all areas it's a shocking, like, Filene's basement grab bag of things, that remain there for a long time.
I love a Filene's basement reference. Do they have those out here?
I actually have never seen one in LA. I feel like Ross Dress for Less is sort of the, but nothing beats Filene's.
Also that store Strawberry. I don't think I ever went into Strawberry, but I passed 1,000 of them.
Unfortunately, I had a terrible incident at Strawberry on Union Square. I don't think it's there anymore. It's a very long story, but basically I took a wheatgrass shot in the morning before Casey and I took the train we used to live in Brooklyn, and we took the train into Manhattan, and I'd never had a wheatgrass shot in my life, and my stomach exploded.
Oh, no.
And I had to run into the Strawberries.
Oh, God.
It's really quite shocking. My body turned on itself, and I demanded that Casey get me a garbage bag and a new outfit from Strawberry. And it was just really, really terrible. Yeah, I mean, I shit myself on the subway and then ran into Strawberries to because we had a whole day ahead of us and I was so far away from home.
Yeah. Did she get you a cute outfit from Strawberry?
I remember it was tight black pants. That was during a time in New York where every girl at night you'd see eat in tight black pants, a sequin top, eating a slice of pizza at the end of the night. I feel like that's the outfit I got at Strawberries.
Oh, that sounds so cute. And that also sounds awful, but I'm glad it all worked out courtesy of Strawberry. I'm looking at the time and I'm realizing I have to let you go because you have to get to set. This was so delightful. Please come back. Tell everyone.
I would love to come back. I feel like we just got started and the time flew by.
I am going to choose to believe that you're being, because I feel like people always say, come back.
It really did.
I feel like you're
really did, Allison.
And I am going to believe that you're sincere, and I'm going to hit you up about coming back for real.
Oh, I'm sincere on both counts.
Perfect.
Please hit me back. And I just want to tell your listeners, because we actually, the Jane Club, which is a community platform that I started about 5 years ago, where we have some incredible classes and events, and we do meditation every day. We have book clubs, we have cocktail hours, we have programming for children, and it's basically where I've gone after I could no longer handle Facebook and Twitter. It's just a wonderful community. But we are now fully digital. We are doing some in-person events, but I wanted to offer your listeners a special code.
Ooh.
If they go to janeclub.com, they can type in best friend for 50% off their first month. Our membership
is that
starts.
50?
50% off their first month, and our memberships start at $40 a month. But we also have a la carte memberships where you can just get a piece of our programming. We do work sprints daily, which are these 2-hour focus and flow and accountability sprints for folks who are still working from home and want to not work in just a silo. We all get together and set an intention and really get shit done. So if they want to join just as a sprinter, Jane, that is just $25 a month. And if they use code SPRINT, they can get $5 off their first month. So I just wanted to throw those things out there for your wonderful listeners.
Thank you so much.
I feel like I'm always asked on Twitter to do this podcast. This is the one that I'm
that's so
I
nice.
feel like I'm always asked to do. So
that's so
I'm
nice.
really glad I got to. And please ask me back.
I will. So tell everyone where they can find you. Plug anything you would like to plug, or is that what you just did?
I think that's what I just did, but they can also find me on Instagram at Ms. June Diane, and on Twitter at God, what I don't know.
No, you're
my own
Ms.
handle.
June Diane on Twitter.
Oh, that's what I am on Twitter.
Yeah.
Then I think on Instagram, I'm also that.
Thank you so much. Listeners, follow me on social media at Allison Rosen on Twitter and Instagram. If you like what you're hearing, make sure you're subscribed or following in whatever app of choice so you get the episodes automatically. Please leave us a nice comment on Apple Podcasts. It helps so much. 5 stars, tell your friends, etc. I'm on Patreon. I already mentioned that. June, thank you so much. It was so nice talking to you.
Likewise.
Listeners, thank you for listening. I love you. You matter. Goodbye.
Hey, do you know about the Allison Rosen Show? We had a good time, but now we gotta go. Yeah, Allison Rosen, here's your new best